Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are diving deep into something that I feel like we hear everywhere these days,
Yeah,
and that is the inner child. But, you know,
right.
we're not just going to rehash,
Yes,
what we see all over Instagram or TikTok or wherever,
for sure.
because you brought a book to the table, and it's called Reconcile with Yourself,
hmm
Heal Your Inner Child. And it's written by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Buddhist monk,
Yeah.
right?
A very famous, beloved Buddhist monk.
So that's going to give us kind of a different, unique perspective, I think.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's something that's presented as very new agey and trendy.
Right.
It's like a very Instagrammable topic these days.
Yeah, yeah.
But actually, if you look at the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, you see that. It's
Got it.
coming from Buddhist teachings that are,
Right.
hundreds of years old. So
Okay. So I guess like before we even get too far, like
yeah.
what is the inner child? Like, is it literally a little me inside of me?
Yeah, no,
Wait.
it's not literally a little child, inside.
Okay.
It's really a metaphor, and I think you can think of it as like a container for all those emotions and experiences
Okay.
that you went through as a child. So
Yeah.
all the,
Uh-huh.
joys and the hurts and the fears and the times when you felt
Yeah.
misunderstood or, whatever it is,
Yeah.
all that kind of gets bundled up into this idea of the inner child.
Okay. So even though I grow up,
Right.
that part of me,
Yeah.
that inner child,
Yes.
is still there.
Is still there.
Got it.
And I think, the book makes the point that, if you think back to your childhood,
Uh-huh.
like your emotions were probably pretty intense back then, right? Because kids don't have the same ability to regulate their emotions
Right.
as adults do. And,
Yeah, yeah.
so the idea is that, we still have those unresolved,
Yeah.
childhood emotions that can really be driving a lot of our reactions today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so sometimes
Yes.
I'll have a reaction to something that seems so out of proportion
Right.
to what's actually happening.
Right.
And
Exactly.
is that my inner child?
That could be your inner child talking. Yeah.
Okay.
And there are classic examples of this.
Yeah.
If you had a parent who was very critical,
Uh-huh.
you might have an inner child who constantly fears judgment,
Right.
even as an adult. Or if you experienced a major loss early on,
Okay.
your inner child might still be grappling with,
Yeah.
feelings of abandonment or something.
Wow.
So it can really manifest in a lot of different ways.
Because we're talking about like patterns
Yeah.
almost that stem from these
Right.
early experiences. That's pretty
Yeah.
fascinating. But
Yeah.
also, like, how do you even begin to heal
Right.
something that happened so long ago?
That's a great question. I think that's where Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings are really helpful because, he stresses that healing begins with acknowledging and understanding our inner child.
Oh,
It's not about trying to erase the past
yeah.
or pretend it didn't happen. It's really about,
Yeah.
offering ourselves the same compassion that we would give to a hurting child.
So, like, am I giving myself timeouts now?
No, not exactly. It's more about recognizing those moments when your inner child is acting up.
Okay.
So let's say you have that really out of proportion reaction to something.
Right.
Instead of, beating yourself up or judging yourself for it, it's more about being curious and saying,
Okay.
what's triggering this?
Yeah.
What might my inner child be needing right now?
Okay. So I'm getting curious about what's going on for me.
Exactly.
Okay. But that still sounds a little bit
Yeah.
abstract. Like, what are the things that I can do
Yeah.
to actually make that connection?
Right. Well, that's where the book gets really practical.
Okay.
Thich Nhat Hanh suggests using different mindfulness techniques,
Okay.
especially meditation,
Okay.
to kind of create space for your inner child and to connect with it. One that he specifically recommends is loving kindness meditation,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
because maybe you've heard of. And the idea is, you're directing these feelings of warmth and acceptance, not just to others, but also to yourself,
Right.
including your inner child.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you can actually,
So I'm like internally saying to myself,
yeah, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy. You're offering those same
got it.
kind of blessings to your inner child.
I like that. I've
Yeah.
never done that before, but I can see how
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
And I think, it can feel a little strange at first
Uh-huh.
if you're not used to talking to yourself in that way.
Right.
But over time, it can really help to kind of soothe those old wounds and cultivate a sense of inner peace.
Yeah. And I feel like it's not just about,
Right.
feeling good.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it affects the way we live our lives.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. And the book really
Yeah.
emphasizes that, this isn't just about
Right.
kind of indulging in some kind of,
Yeah.
self-care practice or whatever.
Right.
It really has implications for our relationships, our work,
Right.
how we handle stress, all of that.
So it's not just about revisiting the past.
Yeah.
It's about creating
Right.
a different future almost.
Exactly. It's about using the past
Yeah.
to inform how we want to move forward.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
So it's a journey, not a destination.
Right. Exactly.
Like there's no finish line to this inner child work.
I think that's important to keep in mind because it can feel overwhelming otherwise.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, now I have to go back and unpack all of this stuff and, reparent myself or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really just about, showing up with curiosity and compassion over time.
Okay, so it's more of a process.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's an ongoing practice.
Yeah, it sounds like this book provides a pretty concrete roadmap.
I think so, yeah. And I think what's nice about it is, it's not just a book about,
Right.
inner child work in the abstract. It's really rooted in these very specific practices, like meditation
Right.
and mindfulness.
Okay. Well, this is giving me a lot to think about. What about you?
Yeah.
As you were reading,
Yeah.
did anything kind of jump out at you?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, I was familiar with, inner child work before reading the book.
Right.
But I really liked how the book talked about, different types of inner child wounds.
Oh, interesting.
And so it kind of helped me make sense of,
Right.
some of my own patterns
Mm-hmm.
that maybe I hadn't really connected to my childhood before.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I'm still kind of exploring.
It makes you realize, like, there's always more to learn about yourself, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, this has been a great deep dive. And
Yes.
for everyone listening, as you go out your day, maybe
Yeah?
pay attention to those moments where your emotions feel really big or,
Right.
intense or like they don't match
Yeah.
what's actually going on.
Right.
And maybe that's your inner child trying to get your attention.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.